I'm Steve Phillips. I'm a professional dog trainer. This is my dog Persia. Persia is a detection dog, and she is a narcotics detection dog. Some of the other different kinds of detection dogs that I train are explosive detection dogs, dogs that are human remains detection dogs, cadaver dogs. We also do seizure detection dogs that can tell when a person is going to have a seizure based on the change in their scent because of their chemical changes in their body when they start to go into a seizure. Much quicker, probably 10 minutes to 15 minutes earlier than they would know they were going to have a seizure. What we're doing today, we're going to show you something, I'm going to let you see Persia work, and she's going to just find some marijuana. To give you a little bit of background, the dogs can detect as small as 1 drop of the substance that you're looking for in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. Their sense of smell is just amazing. A German Shepherd has about 220 million scent receptors, and so what we're going to do is show you how this type of detection dog works, and then talk a little bit about how a detection dog could be trained to help out with finding the substances that are used in soaring. So we'll go ahead and I'll show you what Persia does, and then we can discuss that a little bit. You can see that she's a little more excited now. She wants to go do some work. So we've got this row of boxes here, and in one of the boxes there's probably about 10 grams of marijuana. She will go down the boxes, and there are 2 ways to train a detection dog. They're either active alert, which means that they dig and scratch and bite at what they find, and then there's passive alert, which means that the dog will sit and basically stare at what they find. So obviously in the case of what we would do with horse soaring is we would do a passive dog, and the dog would be trained to hit on the 16 most common substances that are used in horse soaring. So we're going to start her out up here. We're going to go down and let you see how easy it is for her to find the marijuana, and then we'll discuss a little bit more about how this could be used in detecting the agents for horse soaring. I've got Persia in position here. So she's trained in German. I'm going to tell her sit. I'm going to tell her to souk, and she will souk. Good, souk. 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 Good, souk. Good. Where is it? Show me. Where is it? Oh, girl. Get it out of there. Get it out of there. Get it out of there. Here you go. Good girl. What she found in the box here that she's continuing to go after, Platz, live, is a bag full of marijuana, just small, probably less than 5 grams, and it doesn't take that much for them to be able to find it. All right, good girl. So now you've got a chance to see a detection dog work. Obviously here was just a row of boxes, but the small amounts that are in there that the dog can find, and it really doesn't matter what the substance is. The whole idea of a detection dog is it's a dog that is trained to find specific target odors and also go to a specific trained final response once they find that target odor. So in the case of Persia here, she does marijuana, cocaine, heroin, methamphetamines, and ecstasy. So with a bomb dog, it's going to be PETN, TNT. There's 5 different and up to 8 different actually substances of bomb dog detection. With a human remains detection dog, they find tissue, they find blood, they find bones, so there's different things that they're trained on. And a arson detection dog is trained on flammable liquids that are used to set an arson fire, and they're used to determine whether the presence of the liquids are there or it isn't. So some of those same things that an arson dog detects are on the list of 16 most used things for horse soaring. Diesel fuel, gasoline, lighter fluid, cleaning fluid. These things are all in the list of substances that a accelerant detection dog detects, an arson dog. So in your industry, what we'd be looking to do is training a dog to find the 16 most common soaring agents, and then have that dog go with a trained handler to the dog or to the horse shows randomly. So no one knows when they're going to be there, when they're not going to be there. They would check out the areas that the horses are in. So we're talking about going into the stables, going around the horse trailers, looking at the wrappings on the legs, things like that. The dog does not necessarily have to go up and actually have contact with the horse. It can do it from a ways away. I've had personally a German Shepherd that I had trained. We were doing an outdoor search, and I got the dog out of the truck, gave him a chance to go to the bathroom. While he was going to the bathroom, he lifted his head and ran about 30 yards to find 1 ounce of marijuana. So they don't have to be right there. Once the dog does sit, then you would have to get them in closer proximity to figure out where that scent is coming from. Now, since the dog can't make a decision on why this substance is there, only that it is there, it doesn't necessarily mean that when the dog sits, there's soaring that has gone on, because it could be diesel fuel that was dripped in the back of a horse trailer. It could be a host of other things. So at the point the dog indicates, goes to the trained final response, does the sit, then it's going to be up to you people to decide how to handle it from there, much the same as it is in schools when we do drug searches in schools. The handlers do not do the searches. The handlers are there to interpret what the dog's doing. So in your case, once that dog sits and shows that there's an odor present that it's trained for, then it would be up to people from your industry to investigate further and find out why that substance is there. Okay? So it's the same thing as using an arson dog, an accelerant detection dog. Just because the dog sits and finds something doesn't mean it's an arson fire. It wouldn't be unusual for someone to have a 5-gallon gas container in their garage if during the fire the gas container melted but the accelerant is still going to be there. The dog would detect that there is an accelerant there, but it doesn't mean in that case that it's an arson fire. You would expect to find it there. So there is going to be times when there are things on the list that you are going to expect to find in certain places. But if there's no reason for that to be there, that's when you have to look at it as soaring. And that's what people from your industry are going to have to do and decide how they're going to handle it after there. The proposal that we're giving you is training the dog, training the handler to detect the substances and say, yes, this substance is here. After that, it is up to another person or someone who's more familiar with the soaring process itself to investigate further and see if that in fact is what's going on. I also wanted to show you the control that we have with the dogs. Obviously this dog would be trained in close proximity to horses, in trailers, in stalls, in barns, and be used to that environment before he was put with the handler. So if you have any questions about this at all, you can talk to Lori Northrup. I'm not too far from where she lives, and we can answer anything that you might want to discuss about this. I have made the proposals for what the cost would be to train the dog, to train the handler, and for 1 year of doing searches using an outside handler. And again, these are things that you're going to have to decide between yourselves whether it's better to use an outside handler or train one of your own people. It would be less expensive to do the searches if you train one of your own people, but I also understand that there's a security concern, that you would like somebody from outside your industry to do this, and that makes perfect sense to me also. So it can be done either way, If you have any questions, please contact Lori, and I'll get with you and answer any questions that you have.